All right, so here we are, and it's going to be ROK from Korea versus Cebu FFB at NBFO 2025, and we're just about to kick it off. So number 17 takes a step, immediate deep ball, and a catch and a touchdown! Oh, ROK strikes first! Do you believe it? It's Yunchan Jung on a deep ball catch, strike for ROK to open the game.
What a play. What a way to start the game.
That's how you do it. Juwon Kim, he's one of the brothers playing for ROK in this game. We'll talk more about it. But a first play deep ball post route caught for the touchdown. And Yunchan gets some fireworks early. Extra point here for number 13 is good. And Korea's starting off hot.
Yeah, Korea kind of catching them flat-footed as they went deep, but that was an incredible fingertip catch to pull it out and get the score.
So on the extra point there, Juwon gets the ball to his brother, Juyan. We'll try to separate the pronunciation. Holy cow, what a strike for ROK. And just like that, 7 for ROK, Cebu coming onto the field. Snap comes up, handoff to Emil Baleva. He's number 0. We're going to talk about him a lot in this game. So for Cebu, interesting team here. Got an opportunity to play and at this tournament. Normally they allow 1 team per country, but because Philippines is such a big country, they allowed 2 teams to come for the men's division from Philippines, and Cebu is one of them, as well as the ISA Huskies. So a throw over to the right side is incomplete.
Wow, that was a bang-bang play. Took that. I thought he was going to run it, but he actually threw a little jump pass and threw it with confidence.
Yeah.
But great defensive play there to knock it down.
So Kenneth Sevilla is your quarterback for Cebu. He's got Emil Baleva, he's got Keen Pacencia, and he's got Seth Pilapil are his receivers. Throw goes to the slot man. That's Keen.
Pacencia.
So Pacencia picks up about 6 yards, and they're going to mark it down at about the 17-yard line.
Nice little quick play there to pick up some yards. And Pacencia had a nice little grab there from the slot.
So ROK setting the tone here right from the start, and Cebu trying to see if they can fire back. Snap goes back. Sevilla goes deep, and nobody's home, and the ball is almost intercepted. There was a miscommunication between Seth Pilapil and Kenneth Sevilla, and the ball almost ended up in the hands of the safety for ROK, but that's 4th down, so it's a turnover on down 2.
Sevilla's got a rocket. He can sling that ball.
He really does. So let's look at the Cebu defense. You've got number 40, Biones. That's Aaron Biones. He's at corner. Joined at corner by another gentleman whose name we can't quite see, but that's Joseph Katingub. Emil Baleva stays in the game here to play defense. Throw is going deep again and just out of bounds. He was looking for number 16. He was looking for Young O as the ball is caught on the tent. The ball is caught on the top of our tent, and they finally get it down.
That's funny.
So Juwon is dealing early.
Yeah, that was a big shot, but wasn't very close.
So receivers in for Korea, they've got Sangjin Kim, and the throw goes the other way to his brother, back to Jaeyeon. To Juyeon, excuse me. So Juwon to Juyeon, that's the connection that the Korea team is really going to rely on this game. These are brothers, and they have such a good chemistry working together that you gotta believe that if Juwon gets in a little bit of a tough spot, Corb, it's going to be Juyeon he's looking for.
Definitely, brother connection is very important, and you can see it early.
So Hyun Kyu Park, Q is in the motion. The ball goes to him, and he's very fast, running up the field, gets a first down and more. He's marked down at about the 12-yard line.
great quick play. Bang, bang, up the middle, out to the side. Couldn't make the tackle. Picked up a lot of good yards there on that easy play.
So Q, that's the first time we're calling his name. That's the first time we're seeing him play. He's got wonderful speed there, and they really utilize that with that play call. So for this ROK team, it's actually a mixture of players from two clubs that we know really well in Korea, the Bayom and Tigers, as you're going to see a touchdown here over the middle from Juwon to Young O.
Young Ojo.
Young Ojo, and Juwon just kind of saw him in the middle, a little shovel pass.
Yeah.
There was nobody home.
He actually pump faked him and then hit him. And Young O went right up the middle and slipped in for the touchdown.
So two centers here for ROK. You're going to see a little bit of Young O at center. You're going to see a lot of Juyeon at center. And Juyeon is in now. Juwon takes the snap back, double quarterback look, but he throws straight, and he's got a catch. And an extra point for Jin. Sang-Jin Kim on that left side coming across was open. And they said no headwear, Corb, coming into this, and I see some headwear.
I've seen a lot of things that they said no to yesterday, but it is hot now, and maybe they're being a little more lenient with the players to stay covered up, to protect themselves from the sun.
As they should be, but I think what they wanted to do here at Ningbo is they really wanted to raise the profile of the tournament. So they wanted to go similar to rules that you'd see at like the World Cup or things of this nature.
Yeah.
But, looks like they're not strictly enforcing.
And that was the point. The Olympics are coming up, and the ref Paul last night said, why not prepare now? So maybe they'll change that later. But for now, we do see some headgear on the field.
So a completed catch there to Seth Pilapil, and they're looking to get him going. So now you have three men in the backfield here for Cebu. Look at this look, Corb.
Little wishbone.
Snap goes to Sevilla. Was looking and sacking by Yuchon Park. He's the rusher.
I'd say Team Rock won the wishbone on that pull.
Yes, they did. They took the big stick of that wishbone, eh?
They got their wish. Nice sack by the defense.
So the trickery from Cebu absolutely did nothing to fool ROK.
I've never seen that formation.
And never in flag football have I seen a wishbone. All right, Ray's saying, okay, that was cute. Didn't work. Let's get back up.
You lose that formation. Next play.
So checking into the game now at receiver is Julius Perez, and the snap goes to number 1, who comes across. That's Pilapil. Dances around, avoids one defender, finally gets his flag pulled. So it's Pilapil, Placencia, and Julius Perez are your receivers. You've also got Daniel Edkid in the game now. He's the center.
Number 3, complaining that maybe his flags weren't on his hips. So you could see he was reaching, grabbed some shorts. So you want to look for flags on the hips.
Placencia goes back as the double quarterback. Sevilla dances, throws, and has a catch to Julius Perez. He's on the run and taken down around the 11-yard line. Big completion for Cebu.
What a scramble and deliver by Sevilla. He eluded that first move, and then you wondered if he was going to run, but tossed it, and nice completion.
It was getting into the danger zone there for Ray Sevilla. He was very close. Corb mentioned the rush was coming in hot, but he gets it off, and Cebu gets the first down that they need. As you see now, Pila coming into the running back slot. Sevilla drops it in front, looking for Placencia, and it was kind of dropped and kind of hit out of his hand a little bit, and it falls incomplete. Second down.
Great drive here by Cebu. They need to score here, get back in this game, and they're running some really neat plays.
All right, Sevilla's now back looking, and he's got his man Pilapil, and he's marked down about the 2-yard line.
Nice defensive play by Wee there.
So Cebu here driving. It's third down. They really would love to answer ROK, who is up 15-0 early. Sevilla looking, has nothing, throwing, and it's intercepted off the tip. Oh, it's number 5, Gahun Cho. They call him Gahun. And he's got an interception off of a tip ball.
Gahun at the right place at the right time. He said, "Got me, not Gahu."
Everything going right now for Korea Corp.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. They were driving. They were right there where they needed to be. Cebu had a rough call there, rough play, and bounced around and unfortunately into the defender's hands.
So Yu Chan Jong is back in the game in the slot, but the throw goes up to Young Jun Kwon.
Truck sticked him.
So that's a new receiver for Korea in there.
Kwon just ran through that guy.
And Ju Yan stays in at center, and Ju Won is still quarterback. You also have number 16 in the game. That's Young Oh, who's the receiver out to the right in the formation. Ju Won throws to Young Oh. It's kind of a no-look. He was looking at his center and threw outside for a completed catch on a 5-yard hook route.
You like the defense that Cebu is playing. They're pressing here and only gave him a few yards on that, but you're right. The timing was so good, the offense completed that pass. They're really pressing up on the defensive end.
So Katingub and Bionis are there. Ibanez Jr., number 91, is one of the linebackers along with Baleva. And the throw here is batted down by Ibanez. We talk about him, he gets a play. We love to see it.
Ernest Ibanez. Quarterback hesitated a little bit. He should have thrown that ball quicker, but Ibanez made up the ground and made a great play.
And so for Korea now, looking at a 3rd down and about 5. Ball goes back. Juan looks right, then throws left back to his brother for a 1st down. They're going to mark it at the 24-yard line.
Nice play by the quarterback there. Looking right, holding the defender at the last second, zipping it back to the left with a 1st down. You know, eyes in with the quarterback play is so underrated.
So for ROK, they're really not making too many mistakes at all. That's a quick throw to Young O, and that ball goes onto the other field as the ref runs over to grab it.
Hey, nice of the refs to grab the ball.
Juwan keeps throwing this way. I almost thinks if he thinks Korb is one of his outside receivers.
He saw you and he knew there was money over here.
All right, so the battery of Juyan back to his brother Juwan, who's in the gun. Slot receiver is Yoon Chan, but it goes over the middle, and there is a tackle here at the 15-yard line. Flags flying all over the field. Kwon was brought down very hard by Katingub, and there's certainly going to be a penalty here on Cebu.
Yeah, he grabbed him in the air and yanked him down. In childhood, we used to say that was a ying-ying. Pulled him down. Number 7 here, Joseph Katingub. Rough play by the defensive player, but you saw him try to pick up the offensive player, and there's no malintent there, but definitely slung him down.
So Katingub with the mistake there is going to bring up a 1st down and goal from the 8-yard line for ROK, and that's exactly what they want to see as they're driving. Not really for a 3rd time. They have 2 scores already, but the first play was lightning, so really they've only been driving on 2 possessions. Yoon Chan, the motion man, the throw goes up, and there is a catch marked down at the 11. That's back to Kwon.
A lot of quick little handoff, fake handoff, shuffles, pitches in this tournament, and you can see how the offensive schemes are changing in time to more quicker, faster plays than you typically see in flag football, say in the U.S.
So 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Juwan's back under the gun, looks, got his man, Kwon, for a 2nd straight reception, and this time they do punch it in for the touchdown.
A lot of contact there on the offense and defense, but nothing was called.
So they run a very similar play, 2 plays in a row, and both times they had Quan with really nobody around him, and in a 1 yard to go situation, you'd expect to see the defense playing a little bit more press, but they weren't, Corbin.
Yeah, he seemed like an easy play for him to score. But if you can see the replay, there was some collisions and some contact there on the line, sort of a pick play.
Nice pick play there. So ROK is going for 2 here as Yunchan motions again. Juwan throwing deep to the back of the end zone, well overthrown. So the conversion does not end successfully.
No, but they are up by 3 scores.
So let's talk a little bit about the ROK defense as they come walking on the field. You've got John Boone Park. They call him JB. You've got Junho Jian. He's one of the defensive backs. And you also have Yuchan Park, who's the other side corner. All right, so let's see the snap here. And a toss play to Baleva is going to get about 1 yard.
Yeah, and Team Rock playing aggressive here. 2 guys going to make the tackle and stop the momentum. Cebu's probably getting a little frustrated here.
So Seongryol Wee is in the game. He's playing defensive back. And, of course, we already know our safety, Gahun Cho. Oh, excuse me. Seongryol is rushing right now. So Sevilla lines up right under center, pitches it back to Placencia, back to Sevilla. That's his first reception of the tournament.
There you go.
Of this game, at least.
Yeah, of the game. Little fake handoff, shuffle to the motion wideout for a quarterback in the flats play. Neat little play.
All right, a couple of motion men here. Keen, Baleva. Baleva makes a move, spin move, gets about 5 more yards. But for Cebu, Corb, everything is short right now. They're not really doing a lot of downfield passing, and so ROK is able to cheat up a little bit.
Give this ROK defense credit. They're playing tough, and they're playing aggressive. And I think Cebu's a little out of their game right now, so they're just shuffling.
A little bit as a little pitch play in front, and first down to Keen Placencia. And Placencia gets Cebu what they so desperately needed. A first down and moving the chains.
That's
so
right.
A fairly conservative open to this game for Cebu. And down 21-0. I don't know how much longer they want to keep that game plan, Corp.
Well, you got to get a good drive here, and you got to score.
Julius Perez checks into the game, but the ball gets thrown to Baleva, who's hip shaking and free, and he's got a touchdown! Emil Baleva, shake and bake on the right side, gets Cebu on the board. Let's go, Emil!
He would not be denied. This tackle should have happened 10 yards earlier, but he got down low and got through and got the score.
Wow. Missed tackles, but this man will make you miss tackles, and he certainly did that. Juked about 3 ROK defenders and gets Cebu into the end zone, and so Cebu maybe starting to settle in here.
Great play to get your team on the board and get your team back into the game.
So Placencia and Perez on the left, Baleva's on the right. The motion man comes across, but the ref says stop right there. We need to figure something out. The scoreboard isn't getting adjusted. Whistles come on. A little discussion.
I need to get adjusted.
We got folks walking around. We've got cameras. We've got personnel. It's our first day. Let the scoreboard operator get settled in himself.
So far, so good. A lot of good football, a lot of good reffing, a lot of good plays and players. Good teams, camaraderie, good sportsmanship out there.
So
Been a
we're
good
back
morning.
on as Daniel Edkid continuing to talk to a little bit to Sevilla. And everybody gives a thumbs up and we're ready to go. Motion man again. They didn't change the play. Golf goes back for Edkid, but it was fired behind him and too hot to handle. Incomplete conversion, no good.
Too hot for the hot tub.
that makes the question, Corb. How hot is too hot for the hot tub?
Wow! Gonna cut myself.
All right. So ROK offense back on the move. Juwan looking deep again. He has a man! Oh, and just overthrown that time for Yoon Chan. It was a very similar play to what they did on the first play of the game. They had Yoon Chan there. He had a step, but it was just a little bit overthrown.
They're coming out for blood. It was a huge shot, and they nearly completed it. Cebu's got to be ready for that.
ROK must see something. They think that they can take advantage of the outside corners. They think maybe the safety's not getting back in time. Ibanez has been playing more up like a linebacker, and he's not getting back. And so I think Korea is saying, hey, if Ibanez, your safety, is going to play up on the line, we're going to throw it over the top.
Yeah, absolutely. The ROK have the athletes to do it and the height.
So I believe there was a timeout called on the field because the coach for ROK is in the huddle. And now we're going to get ready, and we're ready to go, second down. So the coach calls a timeout, comes in and says, all right, we'll just give you a rest. We're going to go deep again. Juwan's back, takes the snap. They are going mid-distance. They have a catch to Q. Very nice reception on the near side.
Clock doesn't stop in the first half. No 2-minute warning in the first half in this format.
Juwan's under the gun. And we have a reception here that is Sang-Jin Kim. So Jin's getting back into the fold. We haven't seen him and his bandit mask in a while.
Yeah, Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, to crash and cash in with a touchdown.
Bandit Coot. So we welcome everybody watching us from Cebu, from Korea, from anywhere in the Philippines, from anywhere in the world. It's so great to have you here. Join us at Ningbo. We are in Ningbo, China, a city that is 7,000 years old. Would you believe it? One of the most important port cities in China is Ningbo. And, for Ningbo, there is a little bit of a story. Ningbo, there's a few legends here in Ningbo. Around the year 1500, 1550. Oh, as you see, a catch upstairs, and Korea's on the move. Maybe we'll tell you our story at the halftime. As we see Korea moving with the catch there by JB. They're trying to score, and so we'll cover them. Juwan back throws, and he has a touchdown to Yoon Chan on the right side. Korea coach is very happy.
Making it look too easy. Punching it in right before the half. Not a dagger, but close to that feeling as they go up by 4 scores before the half. Now, interesting point, if they go up by 28 points and it comes to the 2-minute warning of the second half, they will have no stoppage of the clock.
So the Korean coach on the sideline, Kyung-Sub Shin, he's ecstatic. He's very happy with how his ROK team is executing right now as Young Oh catches the extra point, adding one more on, 28-6 now in favor of Korea.
Nice little deceptive play there.
Yeah.
Hand off, fake to the shallow, pop it to the deep guy, wide open. I've seen that play many times today, and just about every time it's open.
Wow.
Have to take that back home.
Might need to put that one in the playbook, eh?
It's definitely a play worth.
Kyung-Sub, speaking of playbook, Kyung-Sub is walking around this sideline. He's got a playbook in his hand. He's calling the shots. He's like a field general on the sideline, and he's kind of giving his team pumps with the fist. You can tell he's very happy as we come in, and we see our beautiful refs walking back in, getting out of the sun, taking a little bit of a break as we're coming into the halftime. So we were talking a little bit about Ningbo, Corb, and we thought that it might be nice to tell a little bit of story about the legendary Guangxi. And for those of you who might be wondering, who is Guangxi? Well, we mentioned that Ningbo is a very famous port city in China, and Guangxi is perhaps one of the most infamous pirates in Chinese history. Guangxi was a pirate that was active from 1500 to 1550 in this time frame, and he was somebody who was looting and plundering trade routes all over the Chinese peninsula. Legend has it that he was funded by the Portuguese, who had a lot of trade dealings in this area, and so the legend of Guangxi for all the way from 1500 is one that has lived on in Ningbo lore and kind of gives life to this beautiful port city here on the coast of China, only a couple of hours outside of of Shanghai. So, Corb, what are your first impressions of Ningbo?
I love the mountains. I love the clean air. The city is extremely clean. It's quiet. Everybody's really friendly. It's been a nice trip here so far, just experiencing the city life.
It really has been, as we start off the second half with a toss from Sevilla to Julius Perez, who got stopped right in his tracks by number 3, that's Xiang Ril Wei. He was thinking maybe there would be a penalty, but there was not. So Sevilla under center, trying to get Cebu rolling. Start the second half. He gets it to his center, Daniel Edkid, who gets a couple of yards, and we'll have third down coming up.
Yeah, and you're going to want to see Cebu take some shots here. They're down pretty big, and there's not a lot of time. And also the big deal with the differential and the points, they got to get stops and they got to score.
So, yes, Cebu has really favored a short game, trying not to take too many risks. But they find themselves in a big hole here against a strike offense from Korea. And here you see, shake, bake, Sevilla to Baleva. Baleva's moving. We know how good his hips are. He's going to scramble up for the first down. They're going to mark him down at the 23-yard line. So we thought Sevilla was dead to rights there in the backfield. We thought they had the sack on him, but he kind of moved his hips and delivered to Baleva, who scrambled first.
Yeah, surprisingly agile. Reminds me of this guy, Matt Weatherington, I know in Hanoi.
Ha! We all know him well. And Sevilla throws the ball and dropped by Keen Pacencia in the middle. He's frustrated.
Yeah. And that's a coach's job, is to keep your team locked in, keep them engaged, keep their head in the game.
All right, so Julius Perez now lining up very close to center. There's a snap, double snap from Pacencia to Sevilla. Sevilla moves, throws, looking for Baleva, but the ball's intercepted off the tip. That's number 5. That's Gahun for his second pick of the game.
Gahun, got me.
Ga on the back of his jersey, and catcha was what he was doing. Ball was tipped up. They were looking for Baleva. He tried his best to catch it, but the ball was floated up in the air, and Gahun, with those great instincts, came down with the interception.
It was a good play by Sevilla. He's got good moves, and he throws really well across his body, but that was just a great defensive play.
All right, so new quarterback now in for Korea. We've got Jae Hong Park. They call him Hong, and he's going to be coming up. So Korea, with 2 quarterbacks on this roster, is possibly looking to get some playing time for both of them.
It's a good time to get other guys involved, although you do want to keep scoring points in this format and point-style tournament.
So it's possible they want to see what they have here with Hong, as he's got 2 receivers to the left and throws left, and he's got Q there for a catch, who dances forward. Q, kind of a very slender-looking man, but he's very speedy.
Q, K-Y-U. I wonder if it's Kiyu.
It might be.
Caillou.
Q also. Caillou.
I like Q.
Q. We'll call him Q. He's got a little bit of a knee brace on the left side. I wonder if there's something there, but we don't have anything on the injury report. He lines up in the slot. So Hong's back, looking to his center. No, he's looking to his outside receiver, and he's got him. Sang Jin Kim, that's Jin. And Korea, ROK, lining up in the hurry-up.
Thought he overthrew his receiver there, but they had a little bit of a 2 receiver in the same area type of thing. Not so much a smash, but they had a shallow and a deep there. Great pass.
They absolutely did. So Kyon and Q to the left side. They get it to Kwan, excuse me. And he's got another catch there. And Korea doing a good job hustling. We thought they were in the hurry up. They're not in the hurry up, but they did do a great job of hustling back to the huddle and getting everything started quickly.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the coach is calling the plays or if Hong is calling the plays, because this is a great play design for a new quarterback coming into the game late.
So Hong here looking left, crossing by a young Han, excuse me, Juyan, getting crossed up, and that's the center.
If I'm Cebu, I'm going man. This new quarterback is only hitting the flats, the outs, the short stuff. They're not doing anything tricky. Just man up.
They are running a couple of pick plays here and there. Got crossers, but let's see what they do here. So Hong looks right, pump fakes, then goes back to his center. Emil Baleva is there to break that pass up.
Yeah, and he kind of shot-putted that to the center, but wasn't there.
All right, so here's the big test for Hong. You've got 4th down and goal from about the 8-yard line.
Didn't use a lot of clock. Zip down the field. A lot of quick passes, quick pops. What do you think they do here?
I think they're going to try to draw something up for their center. I would not be surprised to see the center close to the end, like the sideline here. And they were looking, but coming back across, the ball is intercepted on that left side. And that is our man, Kating Goob.
And for
with the
okay,
pick.
That's okay.
You know, they actually had the center coming to the left side. He was open. I don't want to call my number. But then they went to the receiver at the back crossing, and Kating Goob was there to step in front of it.
It looked like the first read was the out to the right, because as he looked there's a defender there. However, the defender slipped, so he could have made the throw, hesitated, went back across the middle, interception.
All right, so Cebu here wants to score. They want to have a good point differential here. And 28-6 currently is not a good point differential, so they want to try to cut that off a little bit. Baleva, you see his first pass of the game. He was looking for Edkid. Edkid's coming up, favoring his right leg a bit on that incompletion. Let's see if he checks out or if he stays in the game. But the Cebu team is hanging around in their tent, and that's on the opposite side of the field, so doesn't look like anybody else is coming in. And there he is, falling down again is Edkid, this time making the reception. Again, very slow to get up. Daniel Edkid, their center.
Maybe injured?
He's definitely favoring that. He hasn't come out of the game at all. He's been in there the entire time, and he does have that brace on his right knee. So we'll have to check in on Daniel.
He must be the center.
So Sevilla, quick pitch off. He's got Pilapil. We haven't called his name too much since the early going, but they have him for about 2 yards.
If a pill was a banana, you could peel a pill.
You could peel the peel.
I like Sevilla when he's sitting in the pocket with his feet planted. He likes to make these athletic throws. He's really good at it, but when his feet are planted, he makes great throws.
So Baleva was back in the backfield, and a beautiful sidearm throw by Sevilla.
A little a la Mahomes.
They're going to pick up the first down here. That was 4th down for Cebu, could you believe it? And they're on the move. So Cebu is a team, really, they don't have too much of a sense of urgency. They will gladly use all 4 downs to pick up that first down. They're not a team that gets flustered. They're not a team that feels that they really need to go deep if not forced to.
Yeah, that's going to be their philosophy. It's hard to come back when you're down big, but credit to them for sticking to their game plan. Don't think the long ball is their game too much with this defense.
So Pilapil in the short zone. Snap goes to Placencia, back to Sevilla, who's dancing and running, and flag pulled by Yuchan at about the 7-yard line.
Nice little drive here to get some positive momentum going.
Second down here and 7. Second and goal from the 7. As you see Placencia line up in a very deep slot. Baleva's the motion man. Hand off to him. He's running. And a big tackle on the left side. No flag is surprising to me. Either way, to not have a flag on that is shocking.
Are you kidding me?
You almost
Defender just ran through the offensive player.
You almost thought that you saw Emil kind of gathering himself to charge a little bit. You saw the ROK defender also looking like he was stout. Nobody wanted to back down. That was one of the biggest collisions that we've seen in this tournament. It's surprising not to see a flag.
Bro got his head knocked back. How is that not a penalty?
And JB comes off the field. He's nursing his knee after that collision. So he's replaced by Yuchan.
Center comes out like the rusher with his hand back.
Junho John is also in on that left side, and the ball is nicely defensed there. The Yuchan in the game making plays on that left side, and that's a turnover on downs.
Cannot convert. Great defense by ROK.
So Kyung Sub Shin happy with his squad. Standing in front of us. We're trying to get a reaction out of him. He's not looking. But he's got to be pleased with what he sees. And now he's trying to get a real good look at his young quarterback, Hong. So Hong looks, fires. He's got Q. Right on Q for about 4 yards.
Same philosophy. Quick shot out to the flats. I jump that. Defense should be preparing to attack those flat routes. Go to a diamond look and let the covers press.
So we haven't talked too much about the Cebu rusher. That's Adrian Saladaga is in rushing now as the ball gets thrown
to another field.
Onto the other field in the middle of their play too. Dangerous incompletion from
Hong. That was
Hong.
dangerous. Luckily, we haven't seen too many cross-field players crossing, but that was a play that had potential to have some collisions.
So for the Cebu defense, you've got Katim Goob stays in the game. Ernest Ibanez stays in the game. Emil Baleva stays in the game. The rusher we just mentioned is Saladaga. And we have Aaron Bionis, of course, on the other side. He's there. And throw to the near side. That's very close to our booth. It falls incomplete, just outside. They were looking for Chan. That's going to bring up 4th down here for ROK and another test for Hong.
Pretty aggressive play there by the defense. Again, surprised they didn't call that as he had a hand on his back and a hand in front of him. But in the end, defensive play wins.
So Yu Chan's in the game, Q's in the game, and Hong looking for something. He's got an overthrow and an interception! Katingum again! His second pick on 4th down in consecutive drives.
As we can see, that's not his game yet. My mans need to stay short.
Flags on the field. We're trying to figure out what it is, but if you're Hong, you're going to be seeing Katingub in your dreams tonight.
Yeah, I think it was the diving tackle where the offensive player landed on the intercepting player. So contact on the offense that became defense. And that is 10 yards, but it should be half the distance. The refs know what they're doing. Honestly, the refs have been doing a great job all morning.
They really have been, keeping good order on the game, letting the guys play.
Yep.
And for Cebu, back on the field. Sevilla drawing a route on Ed Kidd, his center, right on his stomach, and says, do that. And Ed Kidd says, okay. Refs come in, spot the ball. They spotted it
backyard football play.
Oh, yeah. Sevilla, a little pitch to Peel and a diving flag pull by
Great
JB.
tackle by JB.
Very nicely done.
83 JB coming in with the diving tackle.
83 JB. He's smiling. Laughing it up, chalking it up a little bit across the aisle with Ed Kidd.
Sevilla still drawing up plays on the stomach. Who needs plays?
Moves up a little bit to the chest. They must be going deep. 2nd down here from the 5. They throw it over to him. They got a touchdown to Ed Kidd. All the stomach drawing worked out.
That's right.
Cebu's got 6 more.
Nice play.
So they drew something up, and they drew up a winner there. And Cebu's going to come back and go for 1 point on the extra.
The old one-pack drawing board for the win.
So that cuts the lead to 16 points. And Cebu, let's see what they can draw up here on the extra point. Emil Baleva is going to be on the right side. He's number 0. Edkid, of course, is a center. Pila Pil is in the game. And then, of course, we have Keen Pacencia, who takes the snap and throws it. And he's got Pila Pil for the extra point. Seth Pila Pil.
The peel was the banana. You could peel a peel.
Cebu starting to get all their players involved now, and you love to see it. Clawing back a little bit. And let's see what we've got quarterback-wise here.
Yeah, no.
For Korea, are they sticking with Hong?
No, 12.
Okay, they've swapped back. The Hong experiment is unfortunately over. We go back to Juan. So expect to see some kind of a deep ball first play. That's what he likes to do.
Yeah, if you're Cebu, you just got to be ready for anything.
Motion man is Jin, and the throw is underneath and incomplete.
Maybe a little cold.
They were looking for Young O, and they missed Young O.
ROK here just needs to play smart. Complete short passes, get the first down, get down close. You do that a few times, this game's over.
So Q is your outside receiver. Yun Chan is next to him. Sang Jin Kim Jin is in the inside of a trips formation on the left. They're looking deep, and the ball's batted and almost caught, but batted down by the Cebu rush. That is Marco Manaloto. He came very close to making the play of his life.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Nearly.
Marco Manaloto. That's the first time we say his name, and what a beautiful pass defense there. Tipped it right up in the air, and he almost crawled to get the interception for 6 points, but he just couldn't quite get there. So a big break for... Okay, and that ball goes over the right side. Oh, excuse me. That is Kwan on that left side, not Q.
Nice tackle there by cutting up.
So we mentioned, and it was a big break for Juan, and he's got his Korea team back on the move.
I believe it's 4th down.
It is 4th down. I should be after a couple plays. So they need 4th down and about 14. Juwan's looking deep, and he's almost sacked. Throws underneath. They got a catch, and they have a first down call.
Wow.
What a play. That's why you bring Juwan back in. This man delivers.
What did you want? That first down, baby. That was incredible.
Nice throw and catch over the middle to extend this drive for ROK. A little bit of a heartbreaking completion there for Cebu as you see it come back, and he's got Jin on that right side, a gain of about 10.
You know, and credit to Hong for coming in. He played well. He played good enough to be in a game like this. You just need to make those longer play decisions and make better decisions on those plays that are critical.
So Juwan back. He's got a slot receiver to the right. And he's looking to the left and throwing. And does he have something down there?
Incomplete.
We do not.
A little hard for us to see that corner of the end zone from where we're at. We do have a monitor here.
And so if you might be wondering, where are the announcers? Where are Gonzo and Corb? We are actually close to where the camera is. So if you can imagine yourself where the lead overhead camera is, we are just to the left, to the right of that camera, excuse me. A little bit downfield from the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Gonzo felt it was very important for us to be on the field, and being here definitely feels awesome.
Well, I'm glad, because otherwise we'd be back behind the spectators, which would be a little bit of a tough job. Here we're getting a lot more of the feel for the game.
That's right.
So Juwan's back, looks right, and he has an overthrow He was looking for 84, but instead he almost found Emil Baleva. He was looking for Yun Chan.
Yeah, no one was there. That was good defensive play there.
So number 8 checks out. That's Marco Manalotto. He checks out. And Adrian Saladaga comes back into the game here. So the receivers left to right, Quan, Chan, and Jin. And Juwan is the quarterback. He's getting it from Young O. And Yun Chan now has the double snap. Throws back to Juwan, who's throwing, looking, and got a catch and a touchdown by Jin on the right side. Beautiful execution by ROK, Corbin.
Great patience on that play. The double, the triple quarterback, waiting for him to cross to the back of the end zone. Perfect shot for a touchdown.
That's a real professional throw there from Juwan, and a beautiful strike on that right side.
And ROK going up again.
So Sang-Jin Kim, Jin they call him. Nice receiver out of Korea. You see him wearing the bandit mask. We've talked about him a little bit this game. It's certainly not his first rodeo. So Juwan throws back to Yun Chan. He's throwing back to Juwan. They have 3 guys in the backfield, and then they have a catch on that left side. That is Quan with the extra point.
Same play to the other side. Quarterback back, other corner.
You know, what really impresses me about these plays is that it requires the second quarterback to really run up very close to the line of scrimmage and then pitch the ball back to Juwan. And you just, as a ref, you're looking, is that second quarterback crossing line of scrimmage? But he is not. Very disciplined play by Korea.
And I believe your whole body has to cross the line. If your leg is still behind the line or your foot, it's still okay. Once your whole body crosses, then it becomes illegal pass.
I always like to flirt with the line when I play quarterback. I always like to scramble and kind of never really know where the line of scrimmage is, because as a player on the field, once that ball is snapped, they really have no idea where is the line of scrimmage.
You have to have a good feel for it.
So the play is stopped a little bit here, and we're kind of trying to figure out why. JB on the defense talking to his guys. He's talking to Xiang Ro Wee, who's been rushing well really all game long. And also we've got number 1 out there. That's Hyun Woo Park. So Hyun Woo in the game. Jun and Yu Chan.
And if you're Cebu here, you want to get up the field quickly and try to score. I'd like to see Sevilla keep his feet planted and make some throws downfield.
And it was raining yesterday quite excessively. And today there is not a drop of precipitation in the sky. We'd kind of maybe like to see a little bit right now. It's hot. 75 degrees Fahrenheit. As you see a catch there on the near side to Daniel Ed Kidd. He's caught about 10 balls here this game. He's been involved a lot. He was quiet early and then has gotten really involved as of late. So Baleva's outside. The snap goes to Pacencia, who gets it back to Sevilla, who's rushing. And he's still going up near the first down marker. They're going to call him back way back. Maybe he stepped out of bounds.
Tell these guys to move.
So it's going to be 3rd down for Cebu, and they're marked about the 16-yard line, so 3rd and 9. So Ed Kidd snaps to Pacencia back to Sevilla. He gets it back up to Pacencia. It's picked off by June, who's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, ROK!
Unfortunate play there. The offensive player was bobbling it, and it hung in the air too long. Good enough time for the defender to snatch it and run it back for the pick 6.
Unbelievable play and awareness by June on that defense. And for Sevilla, just a tough break there Thought he had a drive going, and that ended it pretty quick.
Yeah, that was kind of a dagger.
You see June there, he kind of slow-stepped it. Kind of thought he was jogging just to give himself up and then not. So the extra point here is caught. Beautiful catch there. That's Q at the back of the end zone. He's got the extra one. What a highlight reel catch for Q. That man really does have a vertical on him. That slender man has a huge vertical leap.
Yeah, he's got good hands. He's a good player. He's a baller.
All right, so Sevilla walked off all the way across the field back to his tent and now has to walk all the way back one play later. He should have probably just stayed up closer on the sideline. So he gets the ball out to Placencia. Placencia gets about 5 yards. And Cebu now in the hurry-up.
Cebu right back where they were 2 minutes ago. They need to complete some passes and just get some points on the board.
So they get ball thrown quick, but behind Emil Baleva. And it's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, ROK up big. Defense was really good today for ROK. They really stood strong and didn't let Cebu do a lot.
Very stout. They have capitalized on every little minor mistake that Cebu has made, and the score is reflecting that. Oh, a beautiful catch. Top toe tap on the sideline. That is, they got to mark it as caught by Daniel Edkid. Every time he gets up, it's slow to get up, but he's making plays left and right.
It's like a daytime drama every time this guy catches the ball. But he keeps
You're kind of wondering, is he out? Is he in? Can he move his knee? Well, we're really feeling for Daniel, and we're going to find out what's going on with his knee after the game. As we see a double snap here to Placencia, goes back up to Sevilla. Oh, inside, outside, and flag pulled by JB close to the marker. They're going to call it a first down.
Sevilla with that sweet sidearm to elude the rusher.
He fires that ball.
He
and
really
he's got
does.
a sidearm spiral.
Snap.
Takes a little bit of skill, kind of natural throwing ability to be able to sidearm fire a spiral in there. Sevilla's very good at it. So the man from Cebu leading the offense here, throwing to his other man from Cebu, Baleva, another leader of the offense here. Two very experienced players. The pride of Cebu, really.
Cebu's going to the double quarterback look every play now. This is their best play, and it's working for them, and they know that they know it.
So Pilapil is in, Edkid is in, Baleva's in, and of course, Keen Placencia. Even Keen Placencia is kind of hobbling around, and for such an early part of the game, you don't expect to see a lot of the Cebu players kind of limping, walking, favoring a leg, you know?
Yeah, you know, this is only Saturday. You still have a bunch of games to play tomorrow. Got to save yourself.
All right, Sevilla's back of the gun. Double snap from Baleva back to him. He's running, and a beautiful flag pull there.
Baleva with a little volleyball tap. Just punched it back to Sevilla.
That was a nice play there by Yun Chan to get him after a very short gain here. So Pilapil on the near side. He's kind of at the bottom of the screen. Keen Placencia at the top. Baleva in the slot. Daniel Edkid, he's always at center. And, of course, Ray Sevilla. Snap, throw, quick fires to Pilapil. And he's got a catch and about a 7-yard gain here.
We with the dive, but missing the tackle.
So that'll bring up fourth down, and it's going to be fourth and goal from about the 14-yard line, give or take.
Double QB look.
Real deep QB now. Baleva's back.
Two QBs back there.
They're going to try to get some guys moving around. Keen's
Taking
throwing
a shot.
it deep, and nobody's home there. They were looking for Pilapil. He was guarded by JB, who's about 6 inches taller than he is. Oh, that's not 6 inches, maybe about 4 inches. And ball was batted down incomplete. And so for that, time is running out. That was the last play of the game here. And, wow, what a statement game here by Team ROK from Korea. We say their name. We now know who they are. ROK, led by their quarterback, Juwon. These really are a disciplined, well-coached, well-executing team. They prevail over Cebu FFB in this one, 42-12, I believe.
Impressive defense, and ROK didn't really let Cebu get on their game or get in any rhythm. And as you said earlier, every little mistake that Cebu made, ROK capitalized on. Yeah. So maybe as we see future games are going to have to play perfect against ROK to beat them.
So for Cebu, a couple of nice defensive stands, but otherwise they were kind of just unable to stop the vertical threat of ROK. But they go home and they have this game with a lot of experience, a couple of bright spots, and a nice game for Cebu as well. And we'll look forward to following both of these teams in their journey onwards as we move into the afternoon here at NBFO 25. It's a huge tournament, flag football 5-on-5, 37 teams, 20 men's teams, 17 women's teams, and some great games we've had so far. So, Corb, for you, for me, we'll call it for this one, and we'll see you guys very shortly. In a few moments, we'll start our next broadcast.
Thank you, everyone.